Hello everyone and welcome to Amsterdam. It's about time for yet another Flight Sim 2020 benchmark. Because the last time I made one, I think it was before November even, so a long time ago. We're in 2021 now. We just got World Update 4 that brings Belgium, Netherlands and France up to like the full glory, like some cities with photogrammetry and stuff, a bunch of new sceneries and new airport sceneries, I mean, for free. And oh my god, what the hell is going on here? We're stuttering quite a little bit. Wow, forgot we need the numbers on the screen. As you can see, we're using up to 23 gigabytes of RAM, almost 24, and we're yielding just about 28 FPS. Bear in mind, the stuttering was not happening before recording, so this is 100% to blame on OBS, that's for sure. It was not stuttering before, I swear. But yeah, performance is, I mean, considering its ultra settings, we're running Quad HD ultra settings. It's photogrammetry, it's Amsterdam, it's massive. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of, you know, buildings. So one could expect it would eventually hit the performance, and it does quite a lot. We're approaching the airport, as you can see the tower there. We're approaching Schiphol. I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah, we're approaching the airport EHAM, and consequently the frames are suffering a little bit, but they're gonna get back to normal now, hopefully, because it finished loading. Apparently you can see the CPU load is much lower now, which means it's finally done trying to load at the airport. So what I'm gonna do, actually, as I don't want to fly into the airport airspace, I want to turn back into the city, because as you can tell, this is not photogrammetry. That over there is photogrammetry. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna turn that way. Bear with me, I'm pretty new to this whole helicopter thing. I got quite curious about this mod because people said it was actually pretty good. Like and it is. I can say for sure. Like, it's amazing. Look at how detailed it is. Like they've put a lot of, like, you know, realism into this. Like, it looks great. You got like a proper EFB. You can put a map here. I'm not gonna do that because I don't know how to go back to this page, and I need this page to lend this thing properly because of the numbers. You know, I need the figures. Oh my god, we're quite slow right now, but it's okay. We're just cruising, basically, just for benchmark itself. One thing I noticed is that it's using a lot more VRAM than before. This was not as evident as it is now. Like, you would sit around 6 gigabytes on average. Now I'm always stopping on 7.6, 8 gigabytes of VRAM. And RAM usage is also a little bit higher than usual. I remember I would sit around 17, 19 tops around photogrammetry areas, and here we're looking at 24 gigabytes of RAM. This is actually a lot, but that's mainly the point why a flight simmer would get 32 gigabytes of RAM. That's the whole point. So if it takes RAM, eat the RAM, as long as the frames are consistent, and that's what we're getting here. Surprisingly enough, 2070 is actually being able to handle ultra settings just fine, with a few compromises. I mean, it's not perfect, it's not solid 30 FPS. You don't need more than that for flight sim. You don't need 60. 30 is more than okay. This is very impressive for the card in question. Definitely, that's completely it's completely decent, and I'm very, very happy with the figures. We just gotta turn back into the city because we don't want to fly into the airport. That wouldn't be cool. I'm pretty sure I'm flying online as well, so you know, people wouldn't quite appreciate that. So I'm gonna turn right back into Amsterdam. That's what we want to see. We want to see the city, look at performance, and yeah, stare at figures, basically. Stare at the numbers. I find this helicopter quite fun, honestly, despite not being my cup of tea. Generally, I barely know how to make this thing work. I don't even know how I managed to take off, honestly. I'm still figuring out how I'm gonna land this thing, but I assume you just gotta take power pitch up a little bit and, you know, first lose some altitude and then, you know, try and arrest some of the airspeed and gradually drop the power, and it might work. I'm not sure, but I believe my gamer senses, and hopefully it's gonna work. But as you can tell, there's no photogrammetry around here, around the airport, which is expected because that was the I'm now running the premium edition, which doesn't have the fancy EHAM, so we're just stuck with default Schiphol, which doesn't look bad per se. Like, the layout is accurate enough, but it definitely doesn't look like Schiphol in the sense that the terminals are definitely not, you know, Schippolian enough. And you don't have like the KLM hangars, the stuff all over the airport. You can barely see that. The Martinair, rest in peace. But yeah, we're gradually flying back into the city now, which is a lot better in that regard because it's photogrammetry. It's the, I would say, the main part of this update, the World Update 4. Let's say it's Amsterdam, more than Paris even, because there's a lot more to see. I mean, Paris is like everywhere, you know. People are tired of Paris. We want to try something different. You know, Amsterdam. Look at Amsterdam. That's beautiful. Look. I don't know what that is, but that looks nice. And we're hopping straight into the city again. Start buildings. See how the frames cope. It does okay. It does stutter on occasion sometimes because it's loading the scenery. You know, so it does hang a little bit, but it goes right back. I would say without recording, I would be yielding, I mean, a little bit more than that, like 29 tops. That was the average I had without recording. You gotta remember that NVIDIA, despite being very lightweight, it does put a strain, mainly because that is quad HD. Even if it's a 30 FPS recording, it still puts a little bit of a strain, so you lose a little bit of performance. Usually we would be looking at a little bit more into that, but even so, it's still very impressive. I mean, this is photogrammetry, this is ultra settings. It's very, very impressive nonetheless, the fact that it's still holding up quite well, you know. I mean, look at that, this is great. I'm really having a lot of fun with the helicopter, just flying around, exploring, trying to find Easter eggs, trying to find cool places to take screenshots. Basically, like, you find a nice angle, oh look, that would be a nice angle for a picture. Shame I'm recording. What the hell? Yeah, the building there over the tennis court, never mind, that's not a tennis court. I don't know what that is. It's not a football, doesn't look like a football court, but it's definitely not a tennis one as well. I don't know what that is, but whatever, that shouldn't be overlapping that court at all. And here you can see the border between photogrammetry and the lack thereof. It's striking how much it changes. I mean, look at that. It's night and day. Now we're into photogrammetry. Look at the buildings. It's all very different. And all more realistic in a sense. Yeah, there's a bunch of squarey trees, which I wouldn't really call realistic per se, but the buildings are very unique, which adds up a lot. And you have the road networks properly represented with the cars, and it's just great. I love photogrammetry. It's not as impressive from close range. If you're flying like right next to it, like 200 feet, it doesn't look as impressive because, of course, it's very aliased and the buildings are very low detail. But if you're flying from high up, it looks pretty nice. I mean, look at this. This is great. I cannot complain. Once you go down a little bit, perhaps not so much, but I mean, it's still something that's very early on. It's a very new feature per se. I mean, we didn't have any of that. Like, what, 1 year ago, we didn't have that. So it was something that people barely could think of back in like 2019, before the announcement of Flight Sim. People would not think of a flight simulator using photogrammetry because it's something complex to do, you know. It's not very easy to pull off. Somehow they managed to pull off with a few compromises here and there. But look, oh my god, look at that windmill. So nice. But even so, even with the compromises, the things that perhaps don't look as great as they could, it's still very, very impressive. A lot better than anything that P3D could ever deliver or explain or any of that sort. And the fact that it's streamed from the cloud so you don't actually have to download it makes it even better. So I don't actually need disk space, like I don't need to download Amsterdam, it just streams it like Netflix, which is great. It's not taking any disk space. I close the game and it's gone just like that. So that's another very positive factor, if you have a fast connection, that is. But the game also offers a cache, so you can download it to your disk as well. It speeds up loading, it makes it faster, performance gets better as well from what I heard. I never tried it personally because I don't have disk space for that, sadly. But one day, whenever I upgrade my storage, I'm definitely doing that test. So rest assured that content's gonna be on my channel sometime. I cannot say it's gonna happen soon, but it's gonna happen at some point. Oh, is that the stadium? Johan Arena or something? Look at that. I think it is. Probably for Arena. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But goddamn, it looks great. Look at that. The lighting, the model is so high quality. It stands out so much from the average photogrammetry stuff. Mainly because it's not photogrammetry, that one. That one's handmade. But look at that. God damn, it's beautiful. The lighting, the way the lighting is just bouncing off it, like so realistic, so convincing. And performance, 22 FPS. I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say it's that great anymore, no. But CPU usage is okay. GPU, as you can tell, it's not a CPU bottleneck this time. GPU is working as hard as it can, 98%. It's just not being able to deliver the frames because this is very demanding. We're really pushing the card a lot more than it can actually, you know, we're asking too much of it. And honestly, it's good enough. I mean, if you're just flying around just for sightseeing, this is somewhat decent. One could live with that. And then again, take the performance with a grain of salt because I'm recording. So if I were not recording, frames would be high, perhaps 25-ish. That there would be a slowdown here for sure, compared to like the previous 27, 26 frames that we were getting before. But it wouldn't be that much of a drop, honestly, without recording. Time to show the settings, right? Let me just get inside the copter and change directions once again so that we can hop into the settings. Perhaps I could just pause. Yeah, that would be better. So we pause it, we hit S, and we look at the general settings, graphics settings. Where is it? So as you can tell, full screen, Quad HD, VSync is on, limit at 60, we capping it. It doesn't get anywhere near it, so it doesn't matter, honestly. Scaling is 100%, you could go to 100%, but that would hit the frames a lot. TAA, we're running 100% for terrain. You could do with 200, but you know, photogrammetry areas would definitely punish you a lot more than this does punish you already. So vector data ultra, buildings, trees, grass ultra as well. We have the filtering 16 times, 6 on super sampling, ultra. Water waves is on high. I think it can go higher than that, but that would hit the performance as well, and you don't see much of a difference in that regard. Shadow maps, 248, 1024 for the terrain shadows. Higher it is, the more performance you lose, so make sure to keep that. It doesn't really change that much, honestly, visually. Contact shadows ultra, windshield, ambient occlusion ultra, reflections light shaft, bloom, which is purely optional. I like it. DOF ultra as well, motion blur medium. I quite don't like motion blur, but you know, lens correction is off, lens flare is on, and glass cockpit refresh rates on medium for performance sake. But yeah, as you can tell, other than the glass reflection and level of detail here and scaling, we're doing fine. We're doing really fine here on settings. Basically, I wouldn't say ultra, but it kind of high ultra-ish in a sense. So that's good enough. And figures speak for themselves. Oh my god, what the hell? That was not planned. Well. We do have a problem here, Houston. Autopilot's still on somehow, but it literally just tried to kill me. But it's okay. Shall we fly a little bit more around, or call it a day? What do we do? I'm gonna take a turn and then perhaps call it a day. Let's just fly just a little tad bit more, because why not? This is very enjoyable. I'm enjoying myself right now. Oh, look at that. That's not very enjoyable. That's the border between photogrammetry and a lack thereof. It's pretty awfully clear. Look at that. Goddamn. That thing speaks for itself. Whether one should use photogrammetry or not. Like, it's night and day. And the colors are a lot more vibrant, in my opinion. There we go. Now we have a soccer stadium there. Not a stadium per se, it's just a field, but finally soccer at last. There's a baseball one as well. I think it's baseball. It could be, I don't know, the Dutch equivalent of that. Whatever that could be. What the hell is that? Is that a... oh. The road signage became chungus. Look at that. God damn it. But yeah, some areas look a lot better than others as well. Like the residential areas look very decent. Although this one has a tiny bit of the... what the hell is that? It's a little cut in half. Like it's Amsterdam after COVID. Oh, the word is forbidden on YouTube. Never mind. But yeah, that looks very, let's say, very metro-ish in that sense. You know, if Metro were an open world game, that would be how Amsterdam would look like, probably. So like close range, it does tend to look a little, you know, destroyed and battered, but that's okay. From high up, it doesn't really matter much, and you can really have a feel for how the city looks, and you know, it's good enough. It's almost like being there in real life. You know, pandemic times, it is quite handy for one that wants to travel but cannot travel because of all the restrictions. So you just get your virtual helicopter here and you just fly around and do as you please and go wherever you want. No restrictions. Just straight up fun. Well, yeah, I think that's enough flying, that's enough talking, that's enough. Oh my god, what the hell? Okay, that is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. That's a hella scary glitch. My god. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I sure can. What the hell was that? Okay, let's leave that behind. That was a weird ass glitch. Let's pretend it's not there. And okay, that it goes underwater. What the hell? Oh, there's a tunnel. I mean, then wow, that's kind of cool. But the way it just emerged there, like, look at that. I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to look. Definitely not. I even saw a car driving out of the water there. Like, what? Say what, bro? Yeah, it's not perfect. Still broken on some of the least important parts of the city. Still got some glitches here and there, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's impressive, technically impressive, and a benchmark for the future, for the things that are coming next. And it's extremely impressive nonetheless, even with all the minor flaws. The fact that it can actually do VFR for once, like you don't have to spend anything. This is all base game. The helicopter's free. I didn't have to pay for any of that, other than the game, of course. Which is a given, of course, you gotta pay for it, but look at that. I mean, to get something anywhere near that on P2D or X-Plane, you would need to buy True Earth Netherlands, which is Urbex's 1:1 scale Netherlands, which is also very good, but it's paid and this is free. So, you know, the fact that it can get such thing for free and just fly around and explore. It's not just Amsterdam, it's not just Paris, it's not just, you know, London. There's a bunch of cities, mainly in North America, that you can just fly around. It's great, really great. This helicopter mod, it gets even better, which is also free, the helicopter. I love it. But yeah, I think that's enough benchmarking, that's enough flying around. Time to call it a day and end this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh my, what the hell? That, I think that's supposed to be a power line, but instead it became something scary. Yeah, that's definitely a power line, overgrown power line. It's like there's like stuff growing on it. But okay, on that note, time to end the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful somehow. If you guys have any feedback, it's much appreciated. Comment sections right down below. See you guys next one. We'll just figure out how to end this. Oh, there you go. Okay, bye-bye. See you guys soon.